He dies in the log flume, tragically. And
it's actually pretty great. Something like a log flume thing, and it just barrels into a building. And
we have this like Jackass Forever style death scene in the middle of this movie. Just really violent.
It's the emotional buildup, and then the death is like da da da. It's like builds up to this just ludicrous.
Just the reaction, Clark Nader and all the park employees' reaction to it. It's like, oh shit. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I started that without a full breath. I'm Seth.
I love it. I love it, Seth. Welcome, everyone, back to the Writers Room Game Show. It's a podcast where every week we generate an original feature film idea from scratch in under 60 minutes, working from a set of random prompts given to us by a big Hollywood studio. Seth, Happy New Year, my friend. It's
Ryan,
2023.
Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you. Did you do anything to celebrate the new year this year?
The new year?
Can I talk about something fun that I saw Arlie post on social media?
Yeah.
You guys did a puzzle, and on that puzzle was a picture of you guys doing the puzzle the previous year. And on that puzzle was the previous year. Do you do that every year?
It'd be cooler if it was on the puzzle was a picture of us doing that puzzle, and on that puzzle was a picture of us doing that puzzle.
It's incredible.
Yes, this was my brother-in-law's idea. I can't take the credit for this, and I think he saw it on Reddit. But the gist of it was we took a family photo, like I want to say at least 6 years ago, and did a puzzle, and then took like a straight on just photo of us around the puzzle. No design to it whatsoever. It's literally just someone just snap.
Yeah.
And we kept doing this, and then a couple years ago, I suggested we should take the photo top down. My family gets impatient with me when I start to like direct things.
Yeah.
But I was like, we should take it top down every year, because then it'll be like it's just an endless tunnel.
Yeah.
And that was a very popular result that year and the year after. So we've been doing it. The problem is like the last year, especially when you're doing a top down photo, those are hard to light, especially when you have a glossy puzzle in the middle that's just going to be like super reflective.
Light's usually overhead, so you're going to create a lot of
shadows. You're usually hanging it from a light. Yeah. You're also dealing with upwards of 5 kids all leaning into the picture and blinking at different times, making weird faces at different times. Adults who want to look good in a family photo and when you're laying face down, or looking straight up, you got 80 chins if you're me. The point is, there's been a lot of Photoshop that's been required in the past couple of years, and my family doesn't have a lot of patience for that Photoshopping. They're like, there's this kind of consensus of, actually, I'm not going to talk about it because I got into a fight with a family member this year by accident about that very thing, and maybe I don't want to restart the fight, but they were very gracious and patient and kind, but I got really offended when they just took the photo right off my phone. I was like, no, this is my contribution. Like, let me fix this for us so you can actually see the puzzle. And then I got in trouble.
Wow.
You can cut as much as you want out of that, Rene, because I could see Polly getting bored as I told the story.
I'm setting up today's document for the show while you're talking. I promise I'm listening.
I forgot we did that.
That is amazing. I love the tradition. We don't have any New Year's traditions. I feel like the last few years has been me and Whitney just watching a show at home and then going to sleep before midnight like any other night. But we're watching, Seth, have you watched Succession?
Yes, I watched Succession. Do I like Succession? I think I do.
Okay.
I definitely watch it. What about you?
It had been on our list for a long time, and we had talked about like, hey, before it's season 4, we should binge through Succession and like be able to watch with, everybody else week to week. And we started it like a week and a half ago, and we have like 4 or 5 episodes left of the whole series. We've been like watching a lot of it. So like New Year's Eve, we just literally watched like 3 or 4 episodes of Succession. Nice. It was great. And everyone is awful in that show.
Everyone's awful. It's like Veep, but less fun.
Yes, Veep, but it's skewing drama as opposed to comedy. It's still funny, but
I love the dramatic aspects of Succession, but comedy, if it's Greg or Tom,
yes, you like it.
That it tends to be pretty
yes.
That's where the laughs are for me.
Greg is the best. Greg is the funniest.
Yeah, I think Tom is pretty dang funny. How far did you get?
We have like 4 or 5 episodes left of the series, so
okay.
we're pretty far without.
Bring it back up because bring it back up later. I want to talk about something cool. Once you're done.
And Rene can always bleep things too.
Yeah, but I don't want to bleep it for you.
Okay,
yeah. I'm gonna say, shows. You reminded me. So you'll learn this with Amelie. When your kids get to be like when you start showing your kids stuff from your childhood, like when they're like cognizant and able to like determine what they like and don't like. It's a emotionally tumultuous experience because 7 times out of 10, they probably just aren't going to be into it. Nah, it's 7 to 10, but it's really a 50-50 shot of like, it could even just be like time of day, it could be anything, but you could show them something incredibly special to you and they are like not into it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a roll of the dice anytime you bring up a new show or movie to show your kids. So with Elliot, we had just finished Severance.
Oh, yeah.
And then we need a new show.
Did Elliot watch Severance with you?
Yeah, we had already seen it.
That's fun.
But then he wanted to watch it, so we watched it with him. Now, he likes to watch new shows, but he can only watch one show at a time. He prefers one show. So we did all of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's after we did all Parks and Rec, yada, yada. So, new show time. Someone suggested Arrested Development, and dude, he loved it immediately, and it has been the best. We've just, since he doesn't have school, he's like staying up late. We've just been binging through Arrested Development.
I love that Elliot has good taste.
Amazing.
I'm so happy for you, Seth.
Yeah, he does. I worked real hard by not letting him watch anything growing up except Pixar movies.
Dude, that's incredible. So he loves Arrested Development.
I'm joking. I can't actually. I'm sorry. I don't want to actually take credit for that.
Has Elliot met Tony? Like, has he been over? Like,
yeah, he knows. Yeah, he knows Tony pretty well.
So is it funny like seeing him as Buster Bluth? Like, is there like a?
Yes, and he is. I had forgotten how funny he was in Arrested Development.
I'm a monster.
Tony's hilarious. And he's hilarious in Veep. He's hilarious in Sketch. But it's what got him on the map and Arrested. And he's so good. And I don't think Elliot's seen him like that before.
Yeah.
And so that has been a very fun experience of him like realizing like, holy crap, like my dad's famous friend is actually like really, really good. And like, I don't know, he's kind of like, I can tell he's a little more starstruck than he probably was before. I don't know.
Nice.
It's fun.
The Buster factor.
The bust fact.
Oh, do you hear that, Seth?
Speaking of bust facts,
we are getting a phone call from, I believe, the studio. Do you think I could put him on speakerphone?
I don't know what you're capable of, Ryan. Oh, no, you can't. We don't.
Okay, I picked it up. Let me just give him a little talking to here. Hello? Hey, studio, how's it going? Oh, let me put them on a speakerphone, actually. I think they want to talk to us, Seth. Here we go.
Boys, it's the big Hollywood studio.
Once again.
Hey, yes. You got Seth on the line as well, studio.
How's it going, studio?
Sure, whatever you say.
No, that wasn't a yes or no question. That was me asking you how you're doing.
Bye.
What?
Oh, no. Do you have an assignment for us before we hang up?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's hear it.
What is Two Thumbs and just sent you an email with today's assignment?
Who?
Me.
I figured that'd be the answer. I think you've actually used that one before, studio.
I think you have.
Did you get the email come through, Seth?
It looks like it did.
Maybe.
No, it did. It did, yeah.
This week, we're looking for a pitch in this genre.
Indie comedy. That's our genre.
Okay.
And we'd like it to have this tone.
Deeply emotional.
Deeply emotional. Okay, I mean, that checks out for indie comedy. It really does.
We want to appeal to this target audience.
Fans of adventure serials.
Okay, so like indie,
with an S.
Indie or like Flash Gordon kind of vibes.
Adventures. Yeah, Indiana Jones. Yes. Indie comedy is an Indiana Jones comedy.
and this is our only mandate.
Studio wants to get butts and seats no matter what. They want those butts. They have a big poll with directors and want you to pick any director to direct any remake. Make it unexpected and juicy.
They have a big poll with directors.
Yeah, for those butts. And they want you to pick any director to direct any remake.
Okay, we can choose a movie to remake and then choose the director to helm that. Okay, I mean, I like that. So it's another one of our sort of Wes Anderson vibes where we need to pitch to our focus group up front that so-and-so is directing this. Okay, studio, thank you so much for the assignment.
Absolutely.
Get out of here, studio.
Before I go, I need to ask one quick favor.
Okay.
When you're writing today,
Don't do it.
set aside a small amount of time to remind yourselves of our ultimate goal, to create a one-of-a-kind experience for the audience that is absolutely nothing like the film Gremlins.
I agree.
A wholly unlikable product.
I totally agree. Thank you for taking so much time and breath with that one to tell us that. And
Yes.
I think Polly's about to unplug the phone from the wall.
I already hung up. Okay, so let's get
phones are
our
weird these
5
days.
idea cards from our card game Major Motion Picture. Which
5 idea
you can, if you want to go
cards,
to
that's a song.
MajorMotionPictureGame.com, you could sign up
Majin?
for
Majin Motion
emails.
Fiction?
We're going to release this card game soon. You're probably going to want to know some things about it, so check out the website. What are our 5 ideas?
Our 5 ideas are God, the good Walmart in town,
Insert cash or select payment type.
Okay.
sending money to parents, a pair of pants, and George Washington.
Love that. And you know
I
what
don't
that
know
means?
which ones we've had before.
You know what that means, Seth?
It's time to punch the soundboard.
The
Hit
Writer's
it.
Room game show has begun.
What was
I
the
actually
last-
forgot what it was, so I just took took it a long way in there.
I
What?
love it. What was our last idea again?
George Washington.
George Washington. Okay, so we need to do an indie comedy, deeply emotional, fans of adventure serials, and it has to be a remake of a movie, and we'll assign a director to it. So that's fun. I mean,
But
there's a
it
lot.
we have to
there's a
make
lot-
it juicy.
There's a lot to that. Do we take a adventure serial and remake it as an indie comedy? Because that could be a fun sort of.
It sounds like that's what we are supposed to do. Well, yeah, that or fans of adventure serials. Who nobody watches adventure serials. Like that makes no sense. Like, are we taking that seriously? Because if so, then who watches adventure serials?
I don't know. I mean, whoever our focus group is, that's what they submitted as one of their things.
Hang on. Did you find a 90-year-old man to be our focus group?
And no, it's actually George Lucas. He is the focus group.
That's great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be
Old George Lucas finally
Well, I
showing
think
up
we
to
should
our
just
website.
take
our
like
podcast.
the tone of an adventure serial. I think that's the thing I like about Indiana Jones, and I'm not saying we remake Indiana Jones,
Is an indie comedy. It's the worst idea I've ever heard.
but like an Indiana Jones style thing, which is obviously heavily inspired by adventure serials. Like I would still consider a movie like that, or
So this is someone who's a fan of Indiana Jones. Like they're not watching like Captain or not. There was an adventure serial I watched as a kid. It was not Shazam.
The Captain
It was not
America one
Captain Marvel.
back in
It
the
was
day?
not Captain America. It was Captain something else.
you're a Dick Tracy fan,
It
right?
was in black and white. I'm a Dick Tracy fan.
Would that be an adventure serial, or is that like a
no,
whole
that's a
other
comic.
thing? I know, but like
no,
the show,
that was
the show. I mean, or was it a movie?
the movie.
The movie.
It was a movie. Yeah, that's called a movie, and those are movies.
Okay.
Captain. Oh, it was Adventures of Captain Marvel. This is what I know.
Adventure serials.
1941 American 12-chapter black and white movie serial from Republic Pictures. Stars Tom Tyler as the title role of Captain Marvel and Frank Coughlin Jr. and his alter ego Billy Batson. It's based on the DC comic.
Yeah, Billy Batson. Yeah, that's Shazam, Captain Marvel. Yeah,
Oh, wait, so Shazam
is
was
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
He used to be called
So,
Captain Marvel.
I'm not making this up. Okay, I've always thought I'd like had this stuff confused, but I remember watching this as a kid and then seeing.
Because he still
Anyway.
said Shazam to become Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's all coming back to me. So I used to watch this at my grandmother's house. The point is, I've watched this and it's old. And I just am curious.
Well, can we take like what are the things that people love in adventure serials? It's like the adventure. It's the
Well, all the people who love adventure serials are dead, so we can't ask them.
okay, but you know what I mean. Like the
Yeah, I know.
vibes.
I just
of
like being
those that-
difficult.
Even in movies that we love, that like what are some things in adventure serials that because I haven't really watched a lot of these, but I've seen lots of movies inspired by them.
The adventure serials are basically it's the idea of just like a cliffhanger at the end of every episode. That's really really it. It's like you just have the hero trying to get some, Indiana Jones. The whole thing is like you have the MacGuffin, you have them every middle episode or sequence in the movie. It has some sort of central action set piece. It has a cliffhanger at the end, and it has either the hero acquires or once again loses the MacGuffin. And so until it's over. And
indie comedies, there's lots of
don't do that.
There's jokes, time, but it's like around a pretty. I feel like a lot of the times there's something a bit more dramatic going on as well. A lot of times they're coming of age movies. I feel like I'm just thinking of there's also just the standard. I mean, just low budget comedy movies that are just they're indies because they don't have a budget.
Either way, the word we haven't said yet is cheap. It needs to not cost very much money. It needs to have very few locations.
Remake an adventure movie for very cheap as a comedy.
Well, okay, so we have to remake a movie. You're right. I'd forgotten that part. Mm-hmm. And it has to be for fans of adventure serials. They're all dead. And so it actually has to be more like, I'm really interested to see who the focus group is. Find out what they meant by fans of adventure serials.
I think that, honestly, knowing this person, because I know the focus group, it's like the Indiana Jones, the Flash Gordons, like the sort of they embody that sort of adventure serial sort of aspect, but in a more standard adventure movie, so it's more just like the classic adventure movie, action adventure movie is what they're a fan of.
It's tricky to do as an indie comedy.
Very tricky. What you want
to do is you want to like brick it, right? You want to do like what Brick did for film noir. You like a suburban version of an adventure serial.
I was going to say too, or just pick a character that from that movie that maybe isn't the main adventurer. I mean, it's remake it's kind of bending the rules on that a little bit. But if you pick a character that maybe is a more comedic side character and you make the movie about them, it can maybe be easier to do an indie comedy because the big, adventurous protagonist isn't the main character of the indie comedy version,
I had an idea just now, pitch it to you, and I don't know if it's relevant or not, but what I was thinking about, like an adventure serial, the idea is like you're going to some kind of exotic locations, I believe, if we're talking Indiana Jones or the Mummy or things like that, you're thinking about a series of like puzzles and clues, like environments like tombs and things like that would have, problems to solve and get through, and then be able to run and there are also locations of danger. Oh yeah. And I was trying to think of like what's a suburban version of that to where there could be some kind of like MacGuffin that our character is trying to find, and in an environment that is like suburban or mundane, that's like something indie-ish, grounded in reality, but can still be dangerous and exciting. And a theme park came to mind. Ooh, and it's like, what if
that's fun?
What if the story is
I go straight to Adventureland when I hear that, which is a great indie comedy.
I actually haven't seen Adventureland. I wish I had. Usually in these stories you have like a MacGuffin, or like I'm just taking Indiana Jones for example. You have like a MacGuffin that's some rare artifact, and you're trying to find that, and you're trying to race the bad guys to find it before the bad guys find it. The completely stupid version of that, like the mundane version of that, could be literally like somebody. Okay, the bad example is like a character like got their dad's watch or some kind of like important thing that they're going to get in trouble if they don't find, and they lost it at this theme park, and the theme park is closed, and so they're having to sneak back into this theme park after hours to find it, and someone else is trying to steal it or wants it, and so the MacGuffin is some kind of some object left behind, and the setting is a theme park, and the bad guys are, I don't know,
Nazis.
Some other yeah.
It's just this. It's the same, but in 2022, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or 2023.
I don't know. So I don't know. What do you think?
I think that's really fun. I think it's finding the movie we remake and making it fit within. I love the theme. I love the theme park aspect, and I think there's people have there's been remakes and reboots that take this story and put it in a completely different setting and time. I love that kind of idea. I think it's finding the bones of a adventure movie that we can remake.
I keep forgetting that we're remaking an adventure movie. Or remaking a movie.
I think we
Uncharted. Let's just remake Uncharted.
Dude, did you ever see Uncharted? I think we talked about this.
Yeah, and I actually enjoyed it.
I thought it was good, but it was just like you could feel that they were trying to do Indiana Jones, and it just like pales in comparison. Like,
have you ever played the games?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I freaking love the games, and I think that honestly,
it's hard when the games do such a good job of telling a story.
They do, and they're so not Indiana Jones. They're so their own thing, and so yeah, it's. I enjoyed the movie. It wasn't Uncharted, but it was fun.
I think just the casting of Mark Wahlberg was just, I thought was a total mistake. But adventure movies, I mean,
I actually think I love Tom Holland, but I didn't think I thought he was miscast too.
Let's see. I mean, yeah, Indiana Jones is always the first thing.
Think of Indiana Jones, The Mummy, Romancing the Stone.
I've actually never seen Romancing the Stone.
It's great. It is. It's very dated, but
Bobby
it's great.
Z.
Bobby Z.
What's an old one that we can sort of modernize in this way? Could we do a Star Wars movie? I mean, I know you already got your modern Star Wars ideas, so.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
You're who?
I'm not opposed to it.
So I'm trying to think of, because you think like Star Wars to me, we have Tatooine, we have spaceship, we have dogfight, and that's it, right? I mean,
so what if you did Star Wars, the originals, like A New Hope, in an abandoned theme, or not an abandoned, but in a theme park at night, like an after-hours theme park, and different areas of the theme park were planets.
Instead of them destroying what planet is that? Leia's planet. I forget the name of it.
Alderaan?
Yes, Alderaan. They like destroy a competing theme park, like demolish it or something.
Or they destroy like I mean, that could really be it. Is like you have the bad guys
housing projects or something.
No, it's like literally an area of the theme park. Like what if there's a new owner of the theme park? He's just gonna tear it down in that night, and that's what's going on that night. Either a new owner or it's somebody who is some kind of insurance beneficiary, and they are trying to sabotage and destroy the theme park.
Now we're getting into Star Wars. We're getting to the politics of this now. Yeah.
So they're trying to destroy it in the middle of the night, like in the middle of the night for insurance fraud purposes. And they test it on and I'm thinking like different areas of the park, or like different rides are the planets essentially, right?
Yes,
like rides
there you go.
So they like destroy one ride and take it down. That's the Alderaan thing.
And they're like, we're going to destroy every ride.
Yeah.
To get the insurance money.
And they say that out loud, to get the insurance money.
I feel like there are actually movies where it's like about insurance money. They're very clear about what they're doing. And
So I think this could work.
I think this could work. I think it's finding like we've got our Leia character who is, maybe she's an employee at the theme park who's like really trying to fight the good fight, and
no, she knows
the rebellion. The rebellion is almost like a labor movement almost.
It's people who I like to do people who work there or go there every year or something, but like she found out about the plan, so they didn't lock her up or something, but they what is their plan if they're gonna like lock up this person? But I like that she is like trapped in the park somewhere.
Yeah, and Luke is some sort of
kid. He's a kid who's not tall enough. He's a kid who's not tall enough to ride any of the rides, and just always wanted to ride the rides.
And he has to meet a Han to help him get on the rides or something.
Yeah.
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here tells me you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system.
Yes, indeed. If it's a fast ship.
Fast ship? You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Should I have?
It's the ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
Some kid who needs like an older brother, or like an older.
Chewie is just like a bearded, like
a dog.
long-haired, like.
Chewie's either like a total pothead, or like a pothead buddy, which I think is actually really funny, or a dog. I don't know, like a pothead buddy's pretty funny if it's someone just like, man. And only the guy understands him.
He's just murmuring everything. You can't understand him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some stuff working, and then we need an Obi-Wan Kenobi character to kind of guide them and be able to take on the Darth Vader who's trying to take the insurance money.
Obi-Wan's the old owner of the company.
That's good. He's sold it. He like retired and sold it to maybe his he sold it to like his son or like his son's friend or something like that. Maybe
okay.
Because I'm thinking of Obi-Wan's relationship to Anakin. Like he trained him to take over the park,
protege.
Yeah, but he went dark right when he took over. He went dark and started changing the park. And this is good. This is good.
And it's called Starland. Is the name of the.
You kid, but I feel like that's it.
That's probably it. Starland.
Or like a Galaxy Land? No, it's got to have the name, the star in the title.
Star World.
Dude, how does it keep getting better, Seth? Keep going.
Star World Dino. I don't know. No, Star World.
Yeah, Star World for sure. That's fun. Okay,
All right, I'm gonna design the logo. You start writing it.
Okay, so we got little pieces. So I'm gonna, not that we really need it because I feel like we're familiar with the Star Wars plot summary, but maybe
I feel like we really have everything we need to pitch this movie now.
We definitely do. I think we just maybe we could come up with some trailer moments that sort of tie in the original Star Wars, the big moments.
Yeah.
And then if we could pitch like a really strong opening scene too, to kind of set the stage and then have the title drop and kind of, also I'm wondering if we change the names too, like just to like help when we're pitching, like it needs to change enough to where they get what we're doing, but don't immediately, like they don't hear Leia first up.
Yeah, you're right. So Luke is Jake.
Imagine a title crawl.
Done. So do we do a title crawl or do we?
No, we can't. It's an indie comedy. Like there's, I guess an indie comedy you could do like a cheeky, because the first shot would need to be like the sky, and then you see like a theme park ride come into the shot, and it's really long, and then we tilt down. Or
is it the ride? Like, and I don't want to get too granular with this yet. Like
that's true.
But I guess we should with the opening. Probably is you can't do like a roller coaster coming in like.
Very slowly.
You do like a piece of pizza, like a giant piece of pizza.
going to someone's
into
mouth.
a mouth. Yeah. Yeah.
That's really good. The triangle shape of the pizza just coming into
I don't know what the first thing is to come through and go to the mouth, but the second thing is it's the giant triangle, giant piece of pizza.
And I feel like, it needs you to start like Leia or whatever we want to call her is like protesting, basically. I think we still need to find, I like her being sort of like a former employee of Star World who was like fired for doing something, like she was doing something good.
Yeah, that's why she would say, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Like,
yeah, and she gets fired and she's like protesting and is, put, not in Disney jail.
That's what I'm saying.
But
yeah, I know, but it's like,
basically.
where is she in the park that would make sense that they would go and get her? Like she could be like, handcuffed in an office or something.
It's just random. We also have in our idea pile, God.
Right.
Good Walmart, sending money to parents, a pair of pants, and George Washington. So we'll see.
Well, animatronic George Washington.
Hey, that's
or
at Star World.
Or a character dressed, a character dressed as George Washington.
We can easily get George in here. I think that's
use a what?
It'll be easy. We can just throw George Washington in the pitch somehow.
Well, I'm just thinking that one character could be dressed as George Washington the whole time.
Well, the one throwaway joke and you're good to go with George Washington.
You've always said that. A pair of pants. I do like the idea. I've always thought it'd be funny if you had a character in a movie who was like trying really hard to get like a Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants situation with their friends going, but none of their friends will buy into it or do it.
I love that.
They're like going out of their way to find a pair of pants that'll fit everybody, and like they wear them and like, I got them this week. All right, they're yours this week. You haven't worn the pants. Why aren't you wearing the pants?
Maybe our C-3PO character could be like that. C-3PO always wants to like belong and be.
Okay, well, C-3PO and R2-D2 are sent as they're the messengers at the beginning. They are
from Leia outside of the theme park to find Luke.
I think her name is Kay, by the way. I'm gonna name her after my friend Kay, who just left Maxon.
Okay, love that.
Jake, Don,
Jake is Luke.
Kay,
Don
is Han.
Okay, we've got Louie instead of Chewie.
Yeah,
Ben Kenobi.
Or Huey.
Do we want to just call him Ben?
I
know it's literally his name, but it's
Ben.
It's a normal name. Darth Vader. Should we?
Is Clark Nader.
Clark Nader. The new owner of Star World is Clark Nader.
The way you just said it, I'm in.
That's the promo for the park.
So what are the droids in this movie? Are they people? Are they
Yeah. I feel like it's a theme park, so I feel like they should be employees like dressed in like employee uniforms, but you just because they're all pretty uniform.
Ooh, it'd be fun. Have you ever been like in a public place and someone randomly a stranger airdrops something to you?
Yes.
What if that's what happened? These guys are walking by the park and it's closed, or Jake's walking by.
It's like you're our only hope.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
What's this?
What is what?
He asked you a question. What is that?
He gets a random airdrop, and it's just this like selfie video, and it's from the other side of the wall, like into the park. Like he goes and gets his friend Don to help him break into the park and save this girl.
I like in Don's like a old friend from high school or something that they weren't really friends, but he's kind of the only.
I thought Jake was a kid, but is he literally just like too small to ride, like a short guy and too short to ride rides?
I imagine, to me, like they are like right out of high school or something, and like didn't get out of their small town. Like Tatooine is like the small town or whatever. And
I think there's something funny about Jake being like Michael Cera in Arrested Development. I've been watching Arrested Development, rewatching it like
that. I mean, that is a great
of him being too young
Luke
to
Skywalker
actually
kind of
get the girl, or like too young to.
Well, still like going to Don, our Han Solo character, because he's like a guy he knows that is like a tough guy that can like help him get into this park or whatever, and like meeting him. Think of like the cantina on Mos Eisley, like going outside or out back of an old convenience store to like meet him or something.
Or maybe he doesn't even know him. What if he like saw him at the park that day during the day? He was like this guy who like snuck into a ride or over something, like saw him just being this cool dude. All right. This like Steve.
So
Harrington
you're saying like
guy.
the entire thing would take place by the park.
So I think the movie opens in the park when it's open.
Of course,
during the day.
With Kay and
and
Clark
then
Nader.
They have to leave when it's closing, and Jake kind of sticks around outside and look at the sunset or look at the multiple suns setting on the park. Maybe this is the last day. No, because the insurance fraud thing doesn't make sense. So I'm trying to think of just a way to where he would like linger around the park. But like the idea is you show him, you do like big. We have at the opening, when we meet him, he's at the park. He can't ride any of the rides. We have like the prologue, whatever it is with
Kay.
Yeah.
Kay and Clark.
With Kay. And she's gonna send out an airdrop, whatever. And then you have him at the park and he gets it right as the park closes. What I was getting at is you get the sequence of him too young to ride any rides.
Mm-hmm.
But he sees in this like short little stint, he sees Don, this like cool dude, like jump a fence at a ride or something like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first guy he thinks of.
Okay, but then next day he like finds him again, or like he follows him.
No, it's that night. So he gets the airdrop, and then maybe Don is hanging out in a parking lot nearby, like breaking bottles or something.
So we're just cutting
cool
the C-3PO and R2-D2 in this scenario, because the airdrop, like that's the only reason R2 would come to Luke, is to give him the message.
Yeah, and he wouldn't go to this kid. Like I like the idea of this kid randomly getting an airdrop.
Yes, it's more random. Yeah, and that's probably honestly it's better indie comedy. It's like that sort of he was just in the right place, to get that message to put him on this journey or whatever.
Then maybe Siri is his R2-D2.
So we got Don, this cool guy, and then his pothead buddy who's like 10 feet tall, named Louie. 10 feet tall, 7 foot.
Is it Louie or Huey?
Oh, Huey's good. Huey's better. Huey's better than Louie. And Luke's like, hey, so I saw you yesterday at the park. I got this message. Should we do anything about this? And like, what the hell are you talking about, kid? Because they obviously would be apprehensive. They're like, why would we do this for you? Why would?
And
we
he's
do
like,
this
there's
with
like video in the video. It's like that's clearly this spot in the park, whatever. And
maybe you can help me get in.
So he's like, all right,
but here's the thing too. Just thinking through the Star Wars story, Luke, Obi-Wan comes to him. Ben comes to him at his house in Tatooine. They watch the message together, and he goes to him. That's right. He finds him. They see each other in the sands of Tatooine or whatever.
Oh, so he doesn't go to Don first. He goes to Ben. Like he goes.
Did you go straight to Back to the Future where it's a kid talking to an old man, being friends with an old man?
Oh no, I didn't. But I do like that he doesn't know Ben, but he knows who Ben is.
Yeah, it's like, hey, didn't you used to own the park?
So he goes and gets him. It's in the middle of the night, and they're like, well, we have to get back. He's like, I don't have my keys because I don't own the place anymore. But there is, a way in through so-and-so, but we need someone. And it would be Don. Like
it cuts straight to Don and Huey.
Or we need someone who's good at picking locks or breaking into so-and-so. And that's why it's great to possibly have seen Don do it earlier.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
we can go find that guy.
Yeah, lock
so
picking, like he's just like a miscreant. He's like getting into the park for free by,
Yeah. So they go to a grocery store parking lot where Don and Huey and all those scum and villainy like hang out in the middle of the night or somewhere like a parking lot, some suburban parking lot. And they recruit Don and Huey. And then, while they're doing that, Clark Nader finds Kay and shows her what he's all about, and he
the big
destroys
plan.
her favorite ride.
Alderaan.
Destroys her favorite ride. He's like, "What's your favorite ride in the park?" And they take a walk, and he does all the villainy talkaroo, and then destroys her.
They're on Dantooine.
Yeah, you see, Lord Vader, she can be reasonable. Continue with the operation. You may fire when ready.
What?
You're far too trusty. Dantooine is too remote to make an effective demonstration, but don't worry. We will deal with your rebel friends soon enough.
No.
I like how in the indie comedy version, he's just like this guy who's tearing down roller coaster rides
park
for the insurance money. He's not like a evil villain that's like fighting people with laser swords. He's like, I'm just destroying theme park rides.
Yeah, no, he's also he hates the place because like maybe he was like promised the place and he got it and it's completely in disrepair. I don't know. Maybe he's pissed. He gotta be pissed at Ben for some reason. Ben has to have failed him somehow.
Meanwhile, he does this. We cut back.
Destroys her favorite ride, which I think is actually a cool thing.
Yes, totally.
And then they sneak in. You have a whole sequence of them sneaking into avoiding some kind of security things.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get in there and they're like, wait, like this can't be it. The so-and-so ride's supposed to be right here, but this is just a giant pile of rubble that I didn't notice the destruction happen. Okay, so then they're in there and then they get caught.
Everything's under control. Situation normal.
What happened?
Had a slight weapons malfunction, but everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
We're sending a squad up.
Negative. We have a reactor leak here now. Give us a few minutes to lock it down. Large leak, very dangerous.
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway. Luke, we're gonna have company!
Well, no, we gotta have a Millennium Falcon. Like they hop in Don's van or something, you know?
Oh, it's a piece of crap. Yeah, totally.
Because they have like it's Jake
Brilliant.
and Ben, Huey, and Don all hop in the Falcon or whatever, his van, to travel to the theme park, and that's when they would Alderaan used to be here, but now it's just an asteroid field. Like it would be that moment.
This Centurion Raven is the name of the van.
It's just like slightly different.
Yeah, or I like Centurion. The Centurion. What's a good bird?
I liked Raven. I think that's fun because it still has it. For some reason, it fits with Centurion. You know, like
Centurion Raven. The Centurion. Okay.
So yeah, they hop in the Falcon, head back to the park, get in, and find that the theme park ride has been destroyed. It's just rubble. And then I think shortly after, they sneak in. I'm thinking of Star Wars. They sneak into the Star Destroyer, and we're right into it, right? They sneak in and get Leia. Sorry, I'm thinking through the summary, and I'm distracted by. I just typed bicentennial flamingo, and I'm just gonna keep. You think Don would be riding in a van that has flamingo in the title? If it looks like I'm imagining it. I love it. And all right, Centurion Raven or Eon Flamingo. There's got to be a little dome window that you can stick your head through, like there is on the Millennium Falcon, like little weird. Anyways, but yeah, don't they? 100%. It's like they sneak on the Death Destroyer, save Leia, right? And then after that, there's the whole like destroying the Death Star. They're making the plans to like go on the big dogfight, the trench run or whatever. Isn't that in the story, like in that order? I tuned out, buddy. I'm sorry. That's okay. They go. I think at this point it would need to be them sneaking in, finding Kay, taking her, and then of course Ben would have his showdown with Clark Nader. And something happens to Ben. I don't know if he dies in this indie comedy, but he can die, and it should be in like a ride or like an experience, something that is like set up as something that's significant between the two of them, and that Clark will have first brought up when he's monologuing to Kay before destroying her favorite ride. It's like the elevator drop or something, or it's the wave pool. I don't know, something that he's like, it's like that was the first thing he ever did, and that's where he first met Ben, or blah, 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 I don't know, something. But it's like something that is meaningful between the two of them, or for specifically Ben. And maybe turns on the wave pool and kills him. Just a murder in the middle of this. What if it's more of a emotional, spiritual sort of defeat, but Ben gets to like sort of, he humbles himself and like lets himself sort of, because in that scene in Star Wars, it's like him becoming one with the Force, and he basically like, he doesn't win the fight, he doesn't lose the fight, he just like gives in to the goodness while Darth Vader goes for the death blow.
Your powers are weak, old man.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
So what if there's like a moment where they're just having a conversation? He's like, I wanted, to do something good with this park. And then, of course, Clark Nader's all pissed because he's like, you left me a steaming pile of shit. Like, was this your plan all along? Like, you betrayed me. And he's like, I just wanted to do something good or whatever. Like, he's sort of, but I don't know how he would be out of the, he'd be just kicked out of the park or something.
Gives him a check and goes home. Like, I don't really know what.
Okay, he dies in the wave pool.
Yeah.
He dies in the log flume, tragically. And
it's actually pretty great. Some like a log flume thing, and it just barrels into a building.
We have this like Jackass Forever style death scene in the middle of this movie. Just really violent.
It's the emotional buildup, and then the death is like da da da. It's like builds up to this just ludicrous.
Just the reaction, Clark Nader and all the park employees' reaction to it. It's like, oh shit. And then he's like, well, I was going to destroy the ride anyways.
So
the explanation is just the theme park is so old and crappy that they're like, well, that is literally why I'm destroying these things.
Oh man.
Man, just imagine this old guy.
I feel like I need to draw a diagram for Rene to like explain what it is I'm imagining.
Did you ever play Roller Coaster Tycoon?
No, I didn't. But I imagine he's in like a log ride thing. So it's like it's this big, it's a cylinder like that's on like a water it's not on a track.
Yeah.
It's in like half a tube barreling down this, and the idea is that it would just at full velocity somehow go straight into like through a double doors into like a storage unit where everything is, all the walls come down, like just pure mayhem.
And we're seeing shots of like,
oh no, we don't see him. We see him as him in the log thing, and then we just see the log thing get thrown into the building, and we never see the guy in it again. It's just we just see this thing destroying everything. I also not similar, kind of similar. Not is you ever seen Star Trek Generations?
I have not.
So Kirk's death in that. I'm gonna hang on.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, it's been out for a long time.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Hang on, I'm gonna show it to you. All right.
Yeah,
you're seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you hearing it?
Yep.
Okay. Kirk's on this bridge.
I have actually seen. I've seen this on TV back in the day.
Okay. But we got to watch when this bridge. The way this bridge flies off this cliff with him on it is what I'm imagining. But you see, imagine this, but the bridge flies into a building, and we hear it and see it barrel through all the things in the building. Okay. Here we go. But we see it go into a building and destroyed. That's what
I love the obviously a dummy stunts. Like those are the best.
Oh, me too.
I love that. Okay, so yes. Okay, so Ben dies. Ben is very dead. Meanwhile, Jake, Don, Huey, and Kay are able to escape the park, but now they have to. Basically, Kay tells them the plans that Clark Nader wants to tear down the park or destroy everything and take all the insurance money.
So now they have to go wake up all the employees and all the employees have to go
an uprising, a rebellion
into the park and somehow use.
So instead of destroying the Death Star, they're saving it, sort of.
Yeah, they're destroying the guy.
You know, how funny would it be? Is their big plan is that we're gonna save this park. We're gonna make it like it used to be. We're gonna make Ben proud, and then they save it. They're able to Clark Nader. They're able to somehow get him tossed out, and like Kay becomes the new owner of the park or something like that. But the park is still like all the rides are incredibly dangerous. Like one of them just killed Ben. Like there's like it actually probably would have been better for it to get torn down in the first place.
100%.
And like the ending
Action
is
Park.
What's that?
Action Park, I think is the name of it. The documentary about the park.
Oh, there is actually Jackass connections. Yeah, because they made they ended up making a movie about that too.
Yeah, it's this is what reminds me of this.
The story of Action Park is a true crime story.
Man, we did it.
I think we have our rebellion. Okay, so we have 2 minutes left until our focus group will enter. Do we want to let's talk through our ideas, see if we can George Washington, I think it has to be some sort of costume. I think we have someone in a George Washington costume.
In America Land.
Star World is the theme park, but then within Star World there's also America Land and
dude, Disney World has like all the different like parks.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
And and the rebellion at the end.
And Star World is not necessarily space themed. It's like your dreams and stars and it's all it can be interpreted all different ways.
But we have and at the end the rebellion, the rising up, it's all the employees from the different areas of the park are all dressed in their specific, park outfits. I think that'd be fun. Sending money to parents. Maybe Clark Nader, he's like, I'm gonna send half of my insurance money to my parents. I'm making him kind of a good character though with that. Pair of pants. I liked your sister to the tribe of pants idea. We would definitely have to sell that joke somehow with one of these characters if we were to use that.
Maybe
alternatively, they can make a joke about, we had to close that ride because people's pants kept on getting thrown off. It's like the hanging legs ride where it's like flipping people so hard that their pants are flying off.
Does that happen?
No, I mean shoes, yes, but
oh yeah, I'll take it. I love it. But, or in order to ride it, you have to take your pants off.
What a weird ass theme park this is.
So it's not actually, it's a ride that has been broken down for a while. It's been closed. And the problem is that people's pants and clothes were getting caught in the ride somehow.
Yes. So you have to take your clothes off.
They have to ride it in order to, in the third act, in order to rescue, or when they're escaping with the princess, you have them all have to strip down to underwear to ride the ride. To ride this ride that will project them out of the park.
Our indie, I just remembered too. There's an indie comedy.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be cheap.
We have huge stunts. Okay, well let's wing it. We're out of time.
Technically, I made an indie comedy, and it is not cheap looking whatsoever. So
by the way, I know our timer just ran out, but that shot you sent me today, Seth, I was a big fan. I love it, dude.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. I can't tell if I'm happy to hear that because I can't tell if it's all my things. Yeah.
Time to pitch your movie.
Let's pitch Star World. I'm going to bring our focus group in. Today on our show, our focus group, you may know him as a director, editor of Weekend Video, or the editor of this very podcast that we are listening to and talking on right now.
I know who you're talking about.
Yes, I'm talking about Rene Gomez. Welcome to the
show.
We're
talking about Rene Gomez.
Editor Rene, the focus group today. We said we were going to have focus group this season, but I couldn't help myself. We brought one in. To pitch this incredible movie today. We've got for you an indie comedy that is deeply emotional for fans of adventure serials.
Which I'm going to talk to you, or you can just listen to everything I said about you on the podcast.
Yes, I think we should keep it. We should keep it to the edit. Okay. And the mandate, we actually had to remake a movie and pick a director to direct that remake, which we did, right, Seth? I think Greta Gerwig was directing.
Is she?
She might be.
She might be. We're in talks. We'll find out.
Yes. Well, by the end of the pitch, we'll know who's directing this movie. But today we have for you, should we reveal the title now or after the first scene, Seth, after the opening? Oh, he probably already saw the title when we invited him on. But,
no, I actually don't know what it's called or anything.
Okay, cool. Then we'll start the pitch first. We'll also reveal our idea pile at the end after we've pitched the movie. So, Rene, are you ready? Do you have any questions before we start?
No, I am excited. I'm ready. I've been excited to hear this pitch all day. So
good.
Let me hear it.
Okay, Seth, do you want to take it away? You want me to start it off?
I'll start off, and then I'll either hand it off to you or you just start talking.
Okay,
and I'll
sounds good.
So
that sounds good.
Our film is called Star World. It takes place. I'm trying to think of how to get into this idea. Polly, did you have an idea of how to get into it?
Yeah, well, our movie starts. We see a blue sky. We see blue skies, and then suddenly into the shot, it's the shape. A triangle shape starts to come into the shot, and we're like, "What is that?" It's sort of in shadow. Then it's revealed. It's getting bigger and bigger. It engulfs the frame, and then we realize it's a slice of pizza going into someone's mouth. We get a big, crunch on the pizza, and our camera comes around. And we reveal that we're actually in a theme park called Star World. It looks like this theme park has had better days. There's still lots of people running around, eating snacks, riding rides, playing games, but it's not in its heyday. This thing has been for decades has been sort of worn down, and there's new ownership that we'll find out of this theme park. I'm gonna take it away, Seth.
It's the sun is set. It's like afternoonish, a certain number of hours until closing, maybe an hour left until closing. This kid, Jake, is there. He's like middle school, right into high school age. Weirdly at that age, too young. Maybe he's younger. He's too young to ride any of the rides. We see like a whole sequence of him being too short to ride any of the rides that he wants to ride. While trying to like ride one of these rides, he does see this guy who's like this kind of like one of the freaks from Freaks and Geeks looking kind of guy with this really tall stoner dude with him. And he watches them like pick a lock and like sneak into a ride or like steal like food or something. Like it's from afar. He witnesses it, and we kind of log it away in our memory. Man, we are pitching great today.
Yes, great pitch. Great job, Seth.
The idea is then like he doesn't get to ride anything before close. It closes at sunset. He's kicked out. Everybody's kicked out. And while he's walking along, he suddenly gets a random airdrop on his phone. He's walking around the perimeter of the gate, and he gets this airdrop, and it's from
a girl named Kay. So Kay, before this happens in the movie, we meet Kay, and we find out that she's a former employee of Star World, the theme park, and she is actually protesting some of the decisions they've been making at this theme park. We find out that there's new ownership took over, and they started making decisions, basically making this place less inclusive, closing down rides, making terrible decisions, and they're protesting the new ownership. A guy named Clark Nader actually took ownership of this place, and she's been protesting, and they basically take her and throw her in what's basically like a jail behind the scenes. Not jail, but it's like lock her in this room behind the scenes to like interrogate her behind the scenes of Star World. But she basically makes a selfie video like asking for help, like I'm here, and she airdrops it to the closest person that pops up on her phone. And Jake ends up, when he's leaving the park, gets this video from this girl, and he's like, what the hell is this? Like, I want to help, but I don't know what to do.
In the video, she's talking about this guy, Ben, who he knows was like looks him up. He's the former owner. Like Googles him. He's the former owner of the park. Finds an address, goes to this guy's house. And it's this older guy who used to own the park, shows the video, and he's like, all right, we got to rescue her, right? But I have no way to get back into that park. I don't even they've closed up any backdoor entrances. I don't have any keys to it anymore. You need someone who can pick a lock and break into things. And he's like, well, I might know someone. They go to this
hard cuts to like outside this convenience store.
To a grocery store parking lot where a bunch of like burnouts are all hanging out, breaking bottles.
Yeah, and Don and his buddy Huey are
and Huey's this big old stoner who's
big beard, long hair, 7 foot tall.
Slur, like or not slur, but like he just slurs his words and just speaks in mumbles essentially. But Don understands everything he says. And Huey drives a beautiful
cargo van,
called the Centurion Raven, and they hop into Centurion Raven, and they go out, and he convinces him to this guy Don. He said, I watched you pick that lock earlier today. I watched you steal the things and break into the rides earlier, whatever you did. And he's like, hey, got to break into Star World, which I just realized is really funny. The idea of someone saying we have to
to break into Star Wars in the actual movie Star Wars would be really funny.
Yeah, I'm assuming you caught on to what movie we're remaking at this point.
What?
We're gonna break into Star Wars.
I really want. Oh my god! I want Han Solo to say that in Star Wars. Next stop, Star Wars.
But anyway, so we have that that story, and then when we cut back to Kay, we've seen that Clark Nader has entered the room to kind of talk to Kay and kind of exposition dump. But we find out that Clark Nader, the new owner of Star World, is sorry. I'm still thinking about we're gonna break into Star Wars.
Star Wars.
He's coming and he basically expositions up and tells her that.
Well, first he says, "Hey, what's your favorite ride?" And she says, "Well, obviously it's the so and so princess ride." Or no, that's not like that. It's obviously the turtle ride. He's like, "All right, so walk with me," and they all walk to the turtle ride. And then Polly, you continue.
Yes,
sorry.
And then he presses a comically large button,
he's explaining first.
Okay,
I thought you were going to talk about the monologue.
No, I forgot. You take it.
Sorry, man. So they're walking, and he starts monologuing about how this place he worked for Ben for years. He was like
training under him.
Yeah,
learning.
And like mentored him, and then left past the park onto him, and didn't tell him the park was just riddled with problems, like just unsalvageable. Left him with all this debt and mess. So Ben,
and you can tell that Clark, he's obviously not a good guy, but there's something we can still sort of empathize with him, and he's been put in a bad spot. He's obviously very emotional,
horribly burned too, like just a horrible face burn requires him to wear a hood at all times.
But he tells Kay all this, and then basically reveals that he's going to be like destroying rides and pocketing the insurance money, basically. But he asks her what her favorite ride is, and they're right in front of it, and he presses like a button, and the ride is destroyed right in front of her. Her favorite ride.
So then our crew who's sneaking in, they eventually they go through a whole sequence of them having to sneak in and like entering through like a ride that's like on, or they turn on by accident, so they got to survive in this ride and get through it. They get through it, they get out, and they're like, wait, this can't be right. The turtle ride used to be right here, and
no, it's just a pile of rubble.
It's just a pile of rubble. So then the rest of Star Wars happens at a theme park. No, Polly, how much more do we want to? Oh yeah, that's right. There's more to it.
Yeah, we can talk through it. So basically, at this point in the story, Kay is back, in this interrogation room behind Star World. Basically, just like they're just keeping her there, till the morning. I don't really know their plan. Their plan for Kay at this point. It's obviously criminal. The crew basically ends up, besides Ben's like, I'm gonna go talk to Clark, the owner, get this sorted out.
How did I almost pass by this? I'm sorry.
and the rest of the crew goes to save Kay. They end up, breaking her out, and there's a bunch of new employees of the Star World. Basically, all have the same sort of outfit, black and white uniform. They've taken all the color out of Star World under new ownership, so they're all in these black and white uniforms. They're trying to capture this crew, but they escape on this ride. Long backstory on this ride. Basically, there's problems with this ride where if you were wearing clothes, your clothes would be clipped on the ride, and it was causing a lot of problems. So basically now people have to take off their pants in order to ride the ride. So they take off their pairs of pants to basically all escape.
It's in America Land.
Yes.
Which it's this big log ride type thing. And there's a big old animatronic George Washington outside. And they're like, you have to leave your pants with Washington is the whole.
So
yeah.
And they all escape on this ride basically that, shoots them out of the park.
Well, except Ben. Ben doesn't. Ben sacrifices himself to create a bridge that will allow them to escape out of the park. The way that the ride is built, they have to send one log down first to knock over this part of the ride, but it'll send that log into this other building and destroy everything in the building and everybody and the person in that log.
So we have a very triumphant sort of scene as Ben is riding up, on this log. The music's crescendoing, and then it just flies down off the ride through this wall, big.
And just sends him into this building, just demolished.
Instant death.
Instant death and calamity. And then they're able to escape by flying off the log ride over the wall and out into a parking lot. And
meanwhile, Clark Nader and the employees are just watching like, holy shit, what is happening?
So now like they've saved Kay, but they can still save Star World. Still save Star Wars. And so Kay has an idea. They go and they wake up every former employee that they can think of the park. And some of them are like, one of them is like, I have a family now. I'm like a grown adult, but all right. And they all go in and they
form a rebellion against the new Star World, break back in. And we have this big climactic sequence at Star World. We're using, what do you call it? All the arcade or the carnival games. Like we're kind of utilizing a lot of different areas of the park. And eventually they're able to get Clark Nader. We find out that there's lots of sort of criminal history with Clark Nader that's revealed. He's arrested, and we find in a secret document that Ben made that Kay actually has the rights to the park. She is actually the rightful owner of Star World.
So Kay like turns around and looks out at what is now her park and realizes that pretty much been demolished in this battle. And with triumphant music, we cut to the end titles.
Yes, well, first it's the sunrise, and we've got like the sun, but then there's like a circle from one of the rides that looks like a second sun.
Oh, that's earlier. That was earlier.
Okay, that's right.
With this, it's like a trophy ceremony essentially, where they're like handing out each,
yes, of course, the trophy ceremony at the end where they're awarding people.
They're handing out Star World merch, like, hey, you can have this hat, you can have this T-shirt, you need a new pair of pants,
and
like, put your pants back on.
And that is Star World.
Wow, yeah.
Clap. Please clap.
Please clap. Yeah, here you go. Oh, okay, cool.
That's a working title.
Worked really hard on this logo.
Yeah, I could tell.
I kerned the T.
The kerning's so good. Look at that L and the D not connecting. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's very nice.
But yeah, that's it. Our idea pile, just to let you know, it was a pair of pants, George Washington, sending money to parents, the good Walmart, and
which is where they met Don. They met Don and Huey at the parking lot of the good Walmart.
The parking lot was the good Walmart.
Insert cash or select payment type.
And God was watching over all of them the whole time.
So we were able to get 3 ideas, but that is it. First, before we ask you our typical questions, Rene, that you are very aware of, do you have any comments, questions, concerns?
Okay, so I think the idea is really fun. It kind of reminds me, for some reason, at first I thought of Explorers. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's
terrible third act. Terrible third movie.
I love the first half of that movie a lot.
That's
so if
Joe
anything,
Dante,
that's a compliment.
Right?
Gremlins.
Yeah, Gremlins. So this reminded me of that. It also reminded me of Mitchell's versus the Machines, and like kind of the humor and like the way you're approaching a lot of things.
Okay.
So I think that's already a really good a good start. But my question is, how is Kay the owner? I don't know if I missed that, or if it's just because they were already there and they just got the rights.
Ben found a way to leave it to her through a loophole if Ben was ever arrested, or if Clark was ever arrested in crime.
Okay.
In crime.
Cool.
Arrested in crime.
We're gonna break into Star Wars.
Yeah. No. Okay. So that was honestly the main question. And then another thing I'm thinking of is like, if you guys were to make this movie, would the big action set piece be the sacrifice, or was there any other thoughts on like?
Well, I mean, the battle at the end for the battle for Star World,
and imagine
the battle for
this
Star World.
Battle is heavily comedic. It's not really. It knows what it is. It's obviously it's still very cool, but it's more. These people aren't action heroes. They're just normal
but they
people.
Definitely commandeer the animatronic George Washington, the giant George Washington, and have him.
That's good. Yeah.
Score. This is not my speech, and
you should have a kill mode.
Him saying an Abraham Lincoln speech.
But he calls himself on it.
Nice.
But then there's, of course, Ben sacrificing himself by flying in a log through a wall of a building and destroying it. That's definitely one of their big set pieces for sure.
So Ben is dead. Is there any hope for him?
Very dead.
No, he is he's the old hope. There is a new hope in this.
Oh, okay. Wait. So now the bigger question. I just realized you guys said this was supposed to be a remake of something.
Star Wars.
Is it? Are you serious? Is it
Yes.
actually Star Wars?
Was that not
100%.
clear?
Was that not clear to you?
It was sort of clear, but I was like, is this a joke or is it actually?
No, it is. It is an indie comedy remake of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
Jake is Luke. Don is Han. Huey is Chewie. Kay is Leia. Ben is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Clark.
Oh
Darth
man,
Vader.
So
that's
Clark.
good.
So Ben obviously used
and
to.
called the Centurion Raven is the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, so Ben used to train Clark Nader, the bad guy, and eventually passed the park down to Clark, and he took it in a dark new
We're listening to that whole idea, not thinking it was Star Wars,
And
hearing
I was trying.
No, now
I was trying to lay it on thick
it.
when I said the new employees dressed in black and white, like
Yes,
stormtroopers.
and I was like, man, this sounds a lot like Star Wars, but I was still thinking of another movie. I was like, they probably accidentally were just referencing Star Wars a lot.
We're gonna break into Star Wars.
We're gonna break into Star Wars.
Wow. Oh man. I mean, that's a smart doing roller coasters and stuff. I
So,
think that's a good idea
we did-
if you're gonna make it into an indie comedy.
We did cut out C-3PO and R2-D2. We used an airdrop to deliver the message. We thought that would be cleaner.
Oh, I thought they were the stoners.
That's the Chewie.
Chewie is the stoner.
Oh, Chewie.
It's Han and Chewie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
And
that
then
makes sense.
Alderaan was the roller coaster that was destroyed.
Turtle ride. Yeah.
The turtle ride.
But
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's about it, my friend. Let's get to our focus questions, Rene.
Yeah.
1 to 10. How likely are you to see this movie?
1 to 10. I'd say a good 9.
Ooh.
I feel like this would be a really good Friday night, get some Dominoes, watch a movie, and have fun kind of film.
Love that.
A good
Oh,
night.
What's your
pizza.
Domino's order?
You're gonna play. I was like, you're gonna play dominoes while watching this movie. That's not really.
Oh
Cool.
no, that'd be awful. My Domino's order, I get 1 pepperoni with
Okay.
bacon, and then another one.
What
it's
crust? What
Alfredo
crust? Original crust?
pan.
Pan crust. That's the way to go.
Yeah, that is the way to go. And then the other one is getting a chicken Alfredo. So then it's like 2 different tastes. I can switch between them with a
Love
good
it.
cherry Coke. Yeah, that's it. You guys got to make the movie
The
now.
perfect night. The perfect night. Okay.
Yeah.
How likely are you to recommend this movie to a friend or colleague?
I feel like a good 8, honestly. I think it'd be really funny. A good movie to watch with friends or family. No, probably not family. I take that back. Just with friends.
Your family wouldn't be a fan of Ben Kenobi flying in a
They
log
would not
through-
get it. I could totally see that happening. They would just be like, why is this guy killing himself on a roller coaster? And yeah.
And
Why is there a George
Why
Washington?
are you crying, Renee?
yeah.
I mean, I'm emotional when that happens. Okay, I'm going to
Mhm.
repeat our assignment, and you're going to tell me how well we adhered to it.
Okay.
Indie comedy, deeply emotional. Fans of adventure serials, a remake of a popular property, and then, idea piles as well. Anyways, 1 to 10. Assignment.
Honestly, I feel like the deeply emotional part doesn't get me. So I'd give it another 8.
Renee, he sacrifices himself on a log.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like I'd have to see it. It would depend on the music, but as the pitch, I'm like, okay, I feel like I would laugh more at that scene than anything. And I don't mean that as like as an insult.
No, that's the intention.
Wait till you hear
Yeah.
the episode. Don't worry, that was definitely the intention.
We laughed
Okay.
for like 5 minutes when we were talking about that.
Yeah, I bet.
And then 1 to 10 overall idea. How would you rate it?
A 9. I like it a lot. I think it's
Damn.
funny. And I think because it's so obviously Star Wars, but it also sort of works as like its own thing.
Is it
barely.
so obviously Star Wars, Rene?
Well, now looking back at it, I'm like, yeah, the beats are all there. It's exactly you did like whenever what's his name? Clark Natur.
Nader.
Whenever
Clark
he's
Nader.
showing around it's like clearly Vader and Leia walking around and then he destroys a roller coaster. That's just a planet. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's obvious. So
Sweet.
yeah, I'd say a good 8. I'd watch it.
Okay, so what's our Seth? What's our total?
40.
40, which means I'm gonna pick it up, put them on speaker. Here we go.
Do you like apples?
Yes.
I said, do you like apples?
Yes.
Me too.
Okay.
Also, we're buying your movie.
Oh, incredible.
Thank you so much, studio.
Yeah.
We had a lot of.
You are now allowed to be happy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Movie Phone, home of the movie phone. Can I take your order?
Okay. Bye. Bye.
See you later, studio. I'm hanging up.
I've missed the studio.
I've missed him too.
You haven't updated him at all.
Renee, if you were to remake a movie as an indie comedy, what would your pick be?
Dang, that's a good question. I'd probably choose a bad movie that I would improve
Instead of
upon.
Star Wars?
Instead of Star Wars. Well, this one made a bit of sense to choose. I'd say Die Hard. No, I'm joking.
Okay, what if we did this? Die Hard, but it's in a different location.
In a theme park.
I think, Die Hard in a theme park. Yeah.
Do you think executives are getting tired of that yet? Like Die Hard, but this?
No.
I feel like, I don't think so. I feel like we still have a few more years to go.
I saw a trailer the other day for Plane, which was just like...
It's just called Plane?
It's just called Plane. It's with Gerard Butler. And it just was like Die Hard in a plane.
Gerard, wow.
You mean Air Force One?
Oh, that is Die Hard
Yeah.
in a plane. Great movie.
The Writers' Room Game Show with me, Ryan Pollard, and Seth Worley. Executive produced by Grant Wakefield at Weekend Video and Ann Fogerty at Plot Devices. Edited to perfection by Rene Gomez. Our art is by your buddy, Meg Lewis, and our face-melting music is by Ben Worley. The Writers' Room Game Show is a Weekend Video production in association with Plot Devices. Learn more about Weekend Video at weekend.video and check out writersroomgame.show to listen to all of our episodes and suggest your own prompts for future shows. And don't forget to rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts. It really helps our show out a lot. See you in the next one.